What's up, beautiful people? We're here to talk about the full moon in Libra on March 28th, 2021. Thank you guys for tuning in. If this message resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Also know that if you would like to catch my daily energy reports, you'll have to go check out my opportunity community. You can go to my website, spiritualbodybuilder.com, click on opportunity community, and join the community for a ton of awesome, fun things that we get to do. A lot of growth, a lot of networking, and a lot of ways to hold each other accountable and step into that new version of you. So what do we have going on for this full moon in Libra? Well, this is the last full moon that's at 8 degrees. We've had the last 5 or 6 months where the new moons have been at 8 degrees, which is essentially the beginning of a new layer of abundance. Now, when abundance comes in, that can come in as requiring more responsibility. It can come in as a challenge that's going to require you to level up into the next best version of you. It could also come in as an obstacle that, through navigating the obstacle through your triggers will give you an opportunity to really see what you're made of. This is about you versus you. Okay. Not like we should be having a competitive nature to this. However, we are in Aries season, and Aries has a very competitive energy to it. Now, this is very significant also because we have the Sun, Chiron, and Venus all at 8 degrees, with Uranus also at 8 degrees. This is very, very powerful, guys. I'm gonna pull up the chart for you here so you can see what I'm talking about. All right. So with the Sun, Chiron, and Venus all at 8 degrees, this is looking at the deeper layers of our values, of our morals, and especially with Uranus there at 8 degrees of Taurus, this is semi-sextile to that energy. So this is really having us look at and see, like, how do we want to feel our best? What do we need to let go of in order that's going to make us feel vulnerable? Now, going into the unknown, going out into the future is always vulnerable, right? There's many different types and layers and ways that we can be vulnerable. So this energy can be a little tricky. Like, I feel like Chiron is a bit of the trickster. Essentially, our ego is the trickster, right? And when we're able to step back and observe our ego from an objective perspective, we can see that we have some self-worth or self-confidence issues in certain areas of our life that keeps holding us back from getting to that next level. So this is going to kind of throw that shit in your face, and you're going to be willing to look at yourself and maybe like, okay, I'm triggered right now. I know that nothing good comes out of my trigger. When you're triggered, you're not thinking straight. You're not thinking clearly. And so it's, one of my favorite sayings is never make a permanent decision based on a temporary emotion. And triggers bring up temporary emotions. So this is where you want to be very cognizant of the type of decisions that you're making, whether to someone else or to yourself. Okay, because relationships also have to do a relationship to self. Now Libra is essentially the sign that sort of has a tendency to sacrifice itself for others, right? It's like, what does everybody else need before myself? And this is where we're looking at within ourselves. Where do we give our power away, where we're saying, I want to help you before I help myself? And this is even regarding children, guys. Of course, we have to, we're the caretakers of our children, and we have to make sure that they're okay. That being said, when they're testing our patience, and when days are just going long and so much stress is happening, it's those times where we have to really be cognizant of where we're at and trying to get stuck. And look, this is a consistent practice. This is why all these different practices exist for meditation, for mastering the mind, for clearing the head, all these biohacks, right? All these different ways, because we live in a stressed out 3D world. That's just facts right there. And we can be in a higher vibration. We do. Many of you listening, in fact, all of you listening, because if you weren't vibrating at that higher frequency, you wouldn't be listening to this, are moving through life in that, but it oscillates, right? It goes up and down, and we can fall back into those triggers. But the more that we do it, the more that we allow ourselves to grow, the quicker we respond with a higher vibration, and the less it affects us, and then the less it affects everyone. All right. So this is a really good time to reevaluate what is important in your life and see, like, are you just putting up with shit just because you feel like obligated to? Like, do you feel indebted to someone for something? Things like that. All right. You don't owe anybody shit. Okay. You owe yourself. You are the only person that goes to bed with yourself every night and wakes up with yourself every morning for your entire life. People will come and go, pets may come and go, situations will come and go, but you will always be with you. So this is all about looking at all the ways in the relationship with ourself through the mirror of our reality to see how we get in our own way, because all the planets are still direct too, remember. So with this forward movement, this is pushing the purge. This is really like, I feel like it's a syringe just pushing us right out through all of our gunk and crap, because we need to do this to this next level. The universe is bringing us all kinds of things that are here to elevate our life. And remember, in the bigger scheme of things, the bigger picture, we are just almost 4 months into a 20-year cycle. So literally, like we're literally, like, energetically speaking, we're not even 4 months old in this, guys. So be easy on yourself. I know for me, like, finally my shoulder's healing, my tricep is healing, but I posted a video on my Instagram today with me doing tricep pushdowns, and my form was fucking terrible. I'm calling myself out, like, dude, stop that shit. But you know what? Like, that was my last set, and I was trying to, like, go super hard, but that's unacceptable. I can't feel the contraction in my tricep, and it's messing with my mind a little bit. So I'm having to relearn how to connect with my body in a whole new way. My whole my chest, my tricep, my shoulder, my back, it's all like, about half the strength of my left side. So when I'm doing anything, it's like my left side is being sacrificed because my right side is so weak. It's so interesting to really be so deeply connected to the weak link of my body. And this is where all these weak links in our consciousness are going to be coming up. And it may make you feel like, wow, I'm worthless. I'm a piece of shit. I'm this, I'm that. No, you're not. These are just things that you have suppressed or repressed, or these are parts of yourself that you haven't been willing to look at. Then now it's saying, like, hey, look, in order for you to get to where you want to go, you must face this. This has to come up and out. And with Uranus and Taurus, we're feeling this energy in our bodies, guys. This is the Kundalini activation that's consistently happening. On this day also, it's of note that Saturn is at 11 degrees of Aquarius. Jupiter is at 22 degrees of Aquarius. 2 master numbers, all right? We also have Mercury at 19 degrees of Pisces, conjunct Neptune at 21 degrees of Pisces. So with Mercury and Neptune together, I have that in my natal chart. Mercury and Neptune, it's dreamy, it's big. You can literally, like, this is where you can feel energy deeper, all right? Especially in Pisces. You can feel energy, but you can get lost in the feelings of things because there's a whole metaphysical world out there that, it's almost like you learn just enough to be dangerous, right? So you don't want to go too far with that. This is a good time to write things down. You get visions, you get ideas, you get downloads, you get aha moments, epiphanies. All those things are going to be very heightened right now, especially when you allow yourself to go in to the trigger. Now, I will say, though, that with Mercury and Neptune, you might get this big vision, this big download, but then you go to try to map it out or create a plan of action, and you have no details. Like, I have no idea how the hell I'll do this. Because, Mercury doesn't, there's too much information, or Pisces is like an ocean, and Mercury likes direct, straightforward, shaped squares. Whereas Pisces is formless, it's shapeless, right? So the Mercury doesn't have much to grasp onto, so it can get lost in the waters of the emotions. So this is where you can go down some rabbit holes and get yourself a little bit of trouble. And technically, it's showing here that that Mercury and Neptune are square the nodes. The square is very, very loose. It's literally like an 8-degree orb. So I wouldn't really go into that. However, we also on this day have a grand air trine. Yay, more cerebral energy. However, okay, this is actually a good thing because this is allowing all this energy that's been coming in so fast to process, especially with the emotional stuff that's going to come up between Chiron, Venus, and the Sun. This is going to be very impulsive kind of energy too, right? It's like, oh my God, I love you. Oh my God, I can't believe you did that to me. Oh my God, I just won $100,000. Oh my God, my friend's mother just died. It's going to be very like unexpected, out of nowhere. What the hell just happened? And it's going through that emotional process of that trauma and experience, learning how to observe it without being stuck in it. That is the key. And that is where we're at to learn and grow, right? And also with Mars here, conjunct the North Node, also sets a quadrate to Pluto. This is an interesting dynamic for the divine masculine, all right? So we have the divine feminine that is conjunct Chiron in the sun, shining a light on how we allow things in, right? Or how we block things from coming in, block abundance, block love, block all these things through fear. That could be coming up as far as how we receive, how we go out into the world, which is our divine masculine, and Mars is conjunct the North Node. So this is our destiny saying we need to go out there and get it, right? But we're going out there to get it in this very vulnerable, slightly wounded state. And we're going to attract a lot of these things that teach us these lessons. And with the Sessa quadrant to Pluto, this is saying that it's going to be deep. And this is saying that there is something that we need, that from the past, like a past behavior or even a past life, that is going to come back to trigger us into bringing us into a new level of awareness of how we go out into the world. And we need to learn this lesson so that we don't make the same mistake that we did before. This is not undoing, but this is identifying and overcoming behavior patterns that have sabotaged us, that has put us in victim mentality, that have put us in a wounded child mode, or that have put us in the inner prostitute. Those are all survival archetypes. And if you want to learn more about those, go ahead to my website, spiritualbodybuilder.com, and download my free ebook, because I talk about it all in there. All right. Because look, we have a lot of that survival energy starting to come up. And with all this survival energy coming up, all the work that we do on ourselves, we must sit with it. We must face it. We must feel it. We must learn the lesson. Okay. So this is a lot of very positive energy. I don't want to get twisted here. Okay. A lot of positive energy when it comes to this full moon, but it's a growth potentiating and trigger potentiating kind of energy. All right. You gotta feel it. And that's why, like I've been posting a lot of stuff about me, all the imperfect shit that I've been doing, because the fact is that we're all imperfect, right? We're all learning, we're all growing. I've been an athlete my whole adult life. The one thing I do know a lot about, I am a master of, is the human body. You come to me and I can figure it out. I've helped people that, I have, normally when someone comes to me and they want to work with me as far as like training, or even, like correcting their physique or their nutrition or organ issues or anything that's happening in the body, it's also associated with the mind. I've had people come to me and I said, I've been to every doctor, I've been to every specialist, I've been to every, like I've had this done, I've had that done, and nothing has worked. Please help me, right? And through the different, the reason why I do that is because I had the same freaking experience. When you go through 10, 15, 20 doctors and they're all, sorry, dude, can't help you. Of course, they don't say sorry, dude, but you know what I'm saying, right? They just put you on a pill, or they just set a schedule the next time. Up, your heart rate looks good. Up, well, sorry about your luck, kid. Good to go. See you next time. Fuck that shit. No, you need to connect. We need to connect. We need to understand what's going on in our body. So when, in our body is our subconscious mind. So when we learn to master the physical body, we start to see the interaction with the emotional body. And when we learn the connection between the physical and emotional body, we understand the metaphysical body. And this is everything I talk about in my free ebook on my website. So check that out. All right. So I want to go over the inside degrees with for this full moon here. And it says, actually, let me see if I can pull this up. I want you guys to see it. All right. 8 degrees Libra, a vast junkyard, like the junkyard of our mind, right? So many things have come to nothing. Such youthful promise gone awry. All because essentials were not heeded. The basics were denied. This gross neglect opens 2 doors, both of which beckon. The near door is a chute downwards into ever more of the same. It somehow has an alluring feeling at the entrance. The far door is almost lost among the rubble and hardly looks like much. But those who walk through there begin slowly to turn everything around, to learn the most invaluable lesson from losing center, and even to regenerate into much better than new. From the vantage point of the gods, those with the courage to go far wrong are the likeliest candidate for the greatest turnarounds. For when you have been to the discard pile, you can feel throughout your whole being the miracle of tapping the lost chord and awakening in the midst of the madness. And man, I cannot think of a better analogy for the energy that has been happening lately. Personally, me, this explanation of this full moon is exactly how I've been feeling. All right. There's two directions that we're choosing right now with all this forward motion, all the planets direct. The universe is saying it's time to choose your destiny. We have the ability to choose, right? We are choosing our destiny. Are you going to go down the destined path of repeating the same pattern, learning the same lesson, going back over the same things for the last 20 years? The other door, which is not going to look like what you think it looks like. It's not going to be comfortable. It's going to be unknown. It's that little door that's far away in the rubble. You barely notice it, right? That's the one that you have to step into the unknown. But that is the one that's going to take you into the new life. So the more aware you are of this, the more likely you'll be able to see it when the opportunity presents itself, because it will. And if you're stuck in your shit, if you're stuck in your triggers, you're just going to divert. It's just going to seem, common sense. Oh no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to deal with this. And you're going to go right back into your habits. And they're going to get solidified because look, next month we have Pluto. We're starting retrograde and eclipse season at the end of April. All right. Once we start doing that, that's going to just keep bringing up old shit, and it's going to double down on bringing up old shit. Or we can choose to move into doing things differently in a way that we've never done before. And it's still scary. There's no direction that is not scary. However, this other direction will eventually, once we face all our fears and embrace the shadows and allow ourselves to be authentic, stop lying to ourselves, stop cheating ourselves out of happiness. All this stuff's going to come up, but you're going to be surrounded by people that allow you to be vulnerable. You're going to have places and things and people around you and things you go that will support your growth process. If you're around people that shut you down or talk shit or try to make you feel bad or some kind of way when you're growing through your stuff, that is not a conducive relationship for growth, guys. Okay. So really think about this, because this is a huge, huge, huge opportunity for us to grow. And, I mean, we always have an opportunity to turn it around, but this in particular, it's clearest. It's like the veil is thinnest. It's just, this is the perfect time to move in the direction of your future that you want, that you desire. But you have to be very clear with yourself of what you want that future to feel like. Maybe not even look like, okay? But you want to feel happiness, right? You don't want to be arguing with your significant other every other fucking day for the rest of your life. You don't want to be at a job that you fucking hate just because it pays the bills for the rest of your life. There's no need to suffer like that anymore. That ideology is dead and gone. And many people will choose to stay that path because it is safe and because they're afraid and they're controlled by their fear. But you are not one of them. You are one of the ones that's going to grow and thrive and learn and come to the other side with a newfound understanding and awakening of life. Okay. I want to also show you guys the 8 degrees of Aries, because we do have the Sun, Chiron, and Venus all there, and that is a very significant number as well. So let's take a look at that real quick. All right. So, whoa, what did I just do? Sorry about that. All right, Aries, 8 degrees. We have a lizard dressed in blue satin and pointed shoes. That is an interesting visual. Entertainment, spectacle, self-exteriorization. I am a lovable object, taking on roles for fun and frolic, becoming everything and nothing, identified with style and finesse, life as a throwaway, with a desire and intention to get away with a series of extravagant ruses. You are absolutely fascinated by the extent to which nobody can catch you at your favorite game. The juicy portrayal of what everybody wants to see, devoid of conscience or ethics. The ideal amoral opportunist who is loaded with talent and is the world's best self-exploiter, to a point of a great joke or trick that becomes much more compelling than any real thing. So to me, this is representing the ego. All right. This is representing what the sort of the trickster that the ego plays in our mind when it comes to making life-changing decisions, right? It puts on a mask. It's like, who do I want to be today? What do I want to do? How do I want to go out into the world? And I'm an Aries rising, so I resonate with this very much. All right, but if you're asking yourself, how do I want to come out into the world? You really have to sit with that. I remember when I first started doing all this stuff, I had an image, a vision in my mind of how I wanted this to be, and it's kind of turning out nothing like what I thought it was going to look like. In fact, a lot of the things that happened in my life have changed a lot of things, and I've had to accept a lot of things about myself. So sometimes the ego can paint this picture, right? And I have Mercury conjunct Neptune in my 8th house in my chart, right? So that is like, dreaming it. So I've had to learn to sort of turn that off a little bit. And when I turn it off, I tune into what I feel, and whatever it is I feel is right for me, that's what I go for. And everybody has their own unique way of doing this. If you get a reading with me, I can help you understand how you can optimally process your energy and your understanding of of what's going on within you, right? Reading consciousness is one thing I am very good at. So we're getting triggered for a reason, right? Slow it down. Allow yourself to look within. Allow yourself to feel the energy around you and see, why am I experiencing this? Ask yourself, don't project to other people. Look within. When you look within, then you find that none of this shit out here even matters. This came into your experience. This is called taking responsibility for your energy. Okay, this is the work. This is a big part of the work. Stepping into that, why am I inviting this into my experience? Okay, and you grow from there, you learn, and you'll find that, soon, very few things will trigger you anymore. Like more and more as you learn to realize that nothing's personal, nothing's a conflict. And that competitive mindset is sort of like, competition and conflict are two sides of the same coin. Look at football, right? Football is competition, but you're basically like in a friendly way saying, hey, let's have conflict, right? And who has a bigger dick? It's all the ego show. We want to sit in the space or the vibration of creation. What can I create today? What kind of thoughts am I creating? What kind of emotions am I creating? How much abundance am I creating? Why or why not? All these questions are going to be coming up here. And this is, I think, front and center for everyone in the world, especially with all the crazy stuff that's going on as we're, changing and shifting and, growing into this whole new humanity. Massive amount of purging going on. All right. So this is what I've got for you guys. And so thank you so much for tuning in. If you would like to get a reading from me, now, if you are a part of the opportunity community, you get automatic savings on all my services. Okay, you can go check that out for all that. You can go check out my website for all that, www.spiritualbodybuilder.com. Check out the opportunity community. Let's all hang out. Let's all get together. Let's all grow and flow, learn and move, and make shit happen. All right. I love you guys very much. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful Libra full moon, and I'll see you guys on the next report. Aho.